Current CCS plans are far from aligned with the Paris Agreement. We need bright minds to make use of data and knowledge to identify new optimal storage locations. Kristian Brandsegg is CEO in Nautilus Carbon Services and does just that. We're curious to know what makes a good storage site, and perhaps he can reveal some aspects of optimal storage sites towards meeting the climate targets. Please welcome Kristian Brandsegg.
Thank you very much for the invitation and to present the possible storage pathway to meet the climate targets. Nautilus Carbon, Nautilus itself is an animal in the ocean that has a track history of back to 250 million years ago. So it's a fossil that have been through a transition throughout millions of years, and that is the trace that you can actually understand how the Earth looks like. So it's a part of the transition, and that is why Nautilus Carbon is a part of the transition. And also a fossil itself, it can be a chalk, and it's a carbonate, so CO3, meaning that it holds the carbon itself. So, Nautilus Carbon Services, we have data that we are transforming the half a century of exploration history and into the CCS knowledge. And we have a product that is already approved by the CCS-focused companies. And you see that one on the map here in the center here. You see from the Barents Sea towards the Norwegian continental shelf and also the UK, and you actually can see a lot of the big where Norway have gained their money from. You can see the troll field. You can see the troll field here. Utsira High here, Gullfaks here as well. So this shows that we have knowledge on the NCS. We have the wells and knowledge. What we see on the right side, it's from Stavanger towards Shetland, and you can see how the erosion of the Shetland and how the sand is. Because as we saw from the previous speaker, you need to know where the sand is, where the good sand is, in order to have a good reservoir where you can put a lot of CO2 in. So, by that, we are facilitating companies towards injection licenses and beyond. So, if you see in the Northwest Europe, this is a focus on storage. We have the Sleipner and Snøhvit project on stream already. And what we see on the global emissions, 35,000 million tons, 10% of that one is European Union emissions. And if you combine Snøhvit and Sleipner, it is 25 million tons circa. And look at the scale here. We need to increase the injection of CO2 rapidly. And what is doing now, you can see a lot of projects around the North Sea. You have the Northern Lights, you have the green sand, you have the portals that has also been presented. Equinor is also part of the Northern Endurance Partnership. That is the best saline aquifer in the UK. And also you have the Acorn project. So this is a project that is going on. And combine that one with the emission map from the EU up there, that is charging the North Sea with CO2. So this gives us a brief understanding of the area, and we see that there are expansion possibilities here. And I will go into that one. If you see a broader picture of it, IOGP in November stated that it's 70 project, and by 2030 it's around 60 million tons that is assumed. by the EAA roadmap, they're indicating by the 2030 that we need to have 1,600 million tons globally. So the sanctioned volumes is so low, but it is a minimum. A lot of going on here, but we need to increase it rapidly in order to meet the targets. Eva Halland, she was responsible for the CO2 Atlas. It was published in not 2012, but 2014. Sorry about that. But that was a huge milestone. And she was quite modest when she said, we hope that this study will fulfill the objective that the information can be useful for future exploration for CO2 storage sites. And I would say that, yes, it has. Thank you. And this shows the NPD how powerful the government is going on this one. And it's really good. And that was finished in 2014. And look on there, this is a lot of the documentation that is putting to the right-hand side. It is how much terabytes that is available. And this is the backbone of how the product Nautilus Carbon has. We have used all these data and contextualized it into one model in on an application as a working platform. And it's approved by the E&P companies, oil and gas companies, and now we are using this one to the to the CCS industry. And NPD also showed the evaluation process. The previous speaker also showed this one. It is a lot of information that you need to go through, a checklist. And if you fail one of these one, you need to find a new spot. And also the storage capacity, as was presented. It is our pyramid that you need to increase knowledge in order to have the secured injection volumes. And this is what the industry is working on right now. And also that you can characterize each site and compare them, it's essential. So, Nautilus Carbon has its, we have our CO2 kit that reveals the storage sites quickly, and we can combine the subsurface and then knowledge, and then go and do analysis on the capacity, storage efficiency, and do models on the injection rates and start of project and so on, and also the costs. So this is what we're helping the industry with. So let's go up north first. Morten Sola showed really good example of how the Polaris site, he talked about the NPD had the reservoir model already. And yes, if you read the CO2 Atlas, the Prospect A, the best storage site in Barents Sea, it's now developed. So Horizont, they picked up the ball and literally hit the target. But they did a lot of work. And how many man-years Morten have been spending from maturing it from the CO2 Atlas to what we have now. He can explain that one on another session, I guess. But you need to do a lot of work. We talked about transport, pipelines, and then I have example here now from the two previous speakers. We know that what is the optimal transport solution is a question mark, but it's green. We need to have a green transport solution. So I will not go into more the details of this one, but we need to take this one into account. Let's have a look on the North Sea, eastern part, the Northern Lights project. Bottom is what is published on the internet. And then here you can see the map or a cross-section from the CO2 toolkit. We have the logs, the EOS log, and towards troll field, you have the possibility for CO2 migration, and then we have calculated the base of the storage outline as well, because we would like to know how this one and to gain the information how much work that Equinor have spent into this one, and figure out if our models is also in line. What you see on top right is then the logs we have mapped them and so on, and also we have done the conditioning on the logs. We have even done machine learning on the lithologies here. This is 3 out of in the UK and Norway. We have 10,000 wells. We have that one within our toolkit. And I will not go into the trap reservoir of the seal, because that was presented in the previous presentation from the Northern Lights. If expansion of the Northern Lights, it is a lot of information out there. It is the Smeaheia application is now available, and what we see is that if we take the Longvu article from last year, showing that the troll area and towards the Smeaheia, they had this analysis of what is the prospectivity in the Smeaheia. And on a cross-section here, you see from the 3241 well, they have drilled, they have the prospect in this alpha structure in Smeaheia. And what they see is that it is a pressure communication between the troll field and the alpha structure. And if you read the article, then you see that Equinor moved away from the Smeaheia toward Aurora well in order to be secure in the first place. And now it will be interesting to see how much will be in this Smeaheia. And also the 3221 well, it's so shallow, so it's close to where CO2 goes into the gas phase. So it's a question mark there. I will say looking forward to see the results further along. And then if you go to the SINTEF on Anelot, the main author here, showing the volumes, and back to the question, what is in the pipeline? Well, based on this one publication, it's that the CO2 supply 10 million tons per year, but a large volume. Look on this one. It's a hydrogen production on Kolsnes. They are actually assuming 30 million tons of CO2 from the Kolsnes. And that is 5 times the 3 trains of Morten Sola presented. So this is large. So let's go to the next area. Now I take north, east. Let's go west. Frigg Field, CO2 Atlas. Frigg Field is the second best place. It is a challenge, though. It's on the border between Norway and UK. And it's also, if you see on the MPD fact pages, updated 21st of December last year, meaning 3 weeks ago. PDO is expected in 2022, so it will be redeveloped. And I'm really curious of Equinor, what they are thinking of this one. Is it producing the gas? How about the injection and so on? And what we have done, yes, we have the map, we have the Odin and the Lille Frigg area as well. So this is a really interesting Eocene sand. It's a good sand container. So I'm really looking forward to this one. And this is really putting Norway further. And then, now, what type of direction do I have left? South, isn't it? This is also taken from the NPD, the CO2 Atlas. It is available. This is the Siri trend. It is Polygen. It is then, sorry for not showing yeah, here. Yeah, I have my map. This is the Siri trend going from Kristian's sign and then to along towards south and into the Danish waters. And then you have the discoveries in Denmark, including the Nini West, the green sand. So the sand comes from Norway. And the sand, it's green in Denmark. What we see on the challenge here is that we have drilled some wells on Norway, but still we don't have enough understanding here, and it's also turning to be shallow. Those said that the storage capacity here is 1 gigaton as well. So this is a possibility further along, but we need to have wells and seismic, and it's expensive. But this shows then a good possibility later down the line. So now I'm taking north, south, east, west, and then it's a huge area in between. And this is where we also work on. So that is our playground as industry. And you can combine the UK as well on that one. So the CO2 toolkit, it is approved by the CCS industry. We have the 3D volume on the seismic interpretations and so on. We can scroll through. This shows then the troll field is here and the possibilities for sands on multiple stages, and also we can map up possible storage sites. So there is potential, and the knowledge is in fact quite close. So this so the key takeaways. We need to do quick development of carbon storage sites, but it needs to be secured. We need to have a double seal, and you need to have a good reservoir with a high injectivity, and also that, or we could say, don't look up. Some people think that, don't look up, because we'd like to do so much work. But if you look up, you can look on the horizon and you actually see that it's a lot of information available just in front of your nose. And should we develop this industry rapidly, then we need to utilize the knowledge and skills that is available. And then I'm following the conclusions of several here. It's, as this is a Norwegian-focused conference, Norway has a competitive advantage to accelerate the storage capacity towards the climate targets. What is sanctioned right now, it's not the volumes that we are seeing, but it's not enough, so we need to work property, really good. So, thank you very much for your time, and yeah, my contact details is here, and also on the digital platform, COO of Nautilus, Kari Lokna, is also present, so she will also be in the chat. So, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much, Kristian, for pointing out where we need to start our next projects and for identifying some new prospects. It's going to be very exciting to follow the story and see if you are correct. Now, if we add up all these promising CO2 storage sites in Norway, how much CO2 storage capacity are we talking about?
what we said here is that we have the CO2 atlas indicating 41 gigatons, and so a presentation earlier today that I reduced that one to 21 gigatons. If you have a look on the Lotus estimate, it was 5 gigatons only in Troll. And then if you have the EAA 2050 estimate, it was 7.5 gigatons per year. So from my point of view, Norway cannot do this one all by themselves. So when it comes to the total volumes, I have not done all that one yet, but I would like to come back later with the resource estimates on the Norwegian continental shelf based on our knowledge.
Thank you, Kristian. We will continue.